Hey, what's going on guys, Gaz here and welcome to my Sacred Oils money making guide. The requirements to do this are the Shades of Morton quest. You must have started the In Aid of the Miracle quest to get into Birdie Rot. You must have repaired the Birdie Rot bank, and to do this you need 20 nails, 5 planks and 1 swamp paste, and to use it on the broken bank booth. The only recommended item for this is to have Draken's Medallion, which requires you to have completed the Branches of Darkmare quest, and that will just speed up the banking a little bit. Okay guys, so for this method you need to be as lightweight as possible, so wear any light weight reducing gear which you have. So I've got my penance gloves on, I've got some boots of lightness, I've also got a spottier cape on. If you have agile clothing, it would be a good idea to wear that, and also the wicked clothing from the Runescape minigame also does reduce weight a bit, so if you have that, wear that as well. Okay guys, so there's quite a lot of stuff that you need to know before starting this method. So what I've done is I've actually jotted some notes down about some useful information which will be handy to know before you start the method. So I'm just going to whack this up here. So as you can see, the first thing you want to do is log on to World 88. This method you won't be able to do on your own, but you don't need friends to do it. If you just log on World 88, there's plenty of people here at Morton doing it. So do just log on to World 88 before you even consider doing this method, otherwise it won't work. The next thing you're going to want to do is buy a Flamtail hammer for 13k from the guy called Razmire. Now in the quest you should have given him some Serum 208, which means that he won't be diseased anymore like all these people are, and that means you can use his services. So what you want to do is you want to trade builders, no you don't, you want to trade general, trade general store, and here we go. So it's a Flamtail hammer here for 13k, and what this does is it speeds up the process of gaining sanity and using your resources, and it also gives you slightly more craft and XP when you do that. Okay, so to those of you who've never done this method before, you must have built a temple in the quest, so you may be already aware of this. But you do need resources to gain sanctity. Now sanctity is what you need to turn the olive oil into sacred oils, which is what we're doing. So what we're basically doing is we're buying olive oil from Razmire here. We're running over to the temple, which is northeast. We're turning it into sacred oil. We are then banking it and repeating it because the sacred oil is worth a lot of money. So I'm gonna quickly give you guys an example now of what you're gonna want to do before you start to get some resources. You're gonna want to buy 10 limestone bricks and 10 timber beams, and then you're gonna need 50 swamp paste for this, because as it says here, one beam plus 1 brick and 5 paste is 5% resources, so we have enough here for 50% resources. And then it also says there that where is it? So 1% resources is 5% sanctity. So we have enough here for, is it 250 sanctity? I think, I don't know, I'm no good with maths. But basically, once you have the supplies you need in your inventory, including your Flamtail hammer, you just click Reinforce Temple Wall. You can actually see that it will start increasing my resources up in the top right, temple repair here, by 5% every time. So that will of course increase 50% to what I had before, and that gives me the resources I need to start gaining sanctity. Now once I've used all these resources, when I'm reinforcing the wall, instead of using these, it's just going to use my resources up. And I don't need anything in my inventory for that to happen. So now when you have your resources quite high in the top right corner, then what you want to do is you want to run back to Razmire and you want to buy a full inventory of olive oils, and these can be bought in the general store from him. So you buy all of these. It's 27 times 26, whatever that is. I can quickly work it out. So 702 GP that costs to buy a full inventory, and I'll show you what we'll be turning this into afterwards. So this is actually a reasonably afkable method. All you need to do is click Reinforce Temple Wall, and this will start gaining our sanctity. Now while I'm doing that, I'm going to show you guys some notes. So it says must have over 10% sanctity to make sacred oil. So turning each oil into a sacred oil costs 2.7% sanctity. However, you must have over 10% sanctity for you to be able to do that. So you couldn't use an olive oil on the altar with say 5% sanctity, it wouldn't work. You do need above 10% at all times to be making them. So 80% sanctity is what you need for a full inventory of 27, and that's of course bearing in mind the 10% which needs to be kept over, because otherwise I think it's about 72% sanctity for to actually do the inventory, but that drops you below 10%, and then of course once you drop below 10% you can't actually make any more oils. So I recommend getting about 80% sanity just to make sure that you'll be able to do the full inventory of oils. And now the temple here needs to be fully repaired for the altar to appear. And once the altar has appeared, I can show you here, you just need to light it. It gives you 100 fire making XP, and then you can use your olive oil on the flaming fire altar. Now the reason we're on world 88 is of course because there's other people here doing it, which means the temple is repaired. As you can see, these shades are trying to break it down, but as long as there's enough people here repairing it, then you can then the temple will stay. Another method of getting sanity is by killing shades, and you gain 2% sanity per shade you kill. However, this isn't recommended because it is much slower, and of course it's not AFK, and you also don't get the nice little bit of crafting XP which we're gaining from this. Now 16% resources are used per 80 sanity, which means you can get about, I think it's about 4 inventories out of using those 10 beams, 10 bricks and 50 swamp paste. So I'm nearly on 80% sanity now. It's working its way up, and then I can turn them into the to the sacred oils. Now this is quite a hard one to explain because there's quite a lot to run over. However, this is pretty good money and is not bad crafting XP as well, considering that's not really what we're here for. Now the bank we're using is the Birdie Rot Bank, and the best way to access that from here would be to teleport with my Draken's Medallion to the Birdie Rot teleport zone, which is right next to the bank. However, if you don't have the Draken's Medallion, because I do understand the quest is quite hard to do and requires quite high sort of levels, then you can just run. The Birdie Rot is south, and I did make over 1,000 oils just by running. It's slower, yes, but the time it may take you to do the quest, if you haven't already done it, may well be worth just running anyway. So I'm nearly going to hit 80% sanity here, and then I can show you guys how you turn the olive oils into sacred oil, which is pretty much like a case of cooking an inventory of fish, really. You just click use and it does it for you. Okay, so we're at 80% sanity now. We're just going to light the fire altar, and now I'm just going to use my top olive oil onto the altar, and then you can see it's just using my sanity to turn the oils into sacred oil. So you can see we've got olive oil, it's turned into sacred oil now, and the sacred oil is what's worth the money here. So I'm just checking I ran over everything here. That's correct, yeah. If you guys are wondering what the Flatmere hammer is for, it's for when we're reinforcing the wall, it gives us sanity quicker and it gives us more XP. So as you can see here, I'm about to finish up this inventory, and I'm going to finish it up with 14% sanity left, or 8% sanity left, because it just dropped below. And of course, if I did try making another olive oil into sacred oil now, it wouldn't work because my sanity is 8, it needs to be 10. So now I'm going to bank. I'm going to teleport using my Draken's Medallion to Birdie Rot, and then that takes me right here, which is right next to the bank. And of course, as you should have seen on the little requirements page at the beginning, you do need to have repaired this bank for this method to be quick, because there is not any banks nearby apart from this one. So I'm going to price check this now. So I think it was about 702 GP we spent on those sacred oils, and then this converts into 59k. So these are 2.1k each. So these are quite expensive. And if you guys are wondering what these are used for, they're used for burning these shades. So as you can see here, I was just refreshing my mind on the method before I made this guide. So I quickly made 161, and that's made me 353k already. And I haven't really not been here long at all, guys. This method is easily 600k plus an hour. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to run back towards Razmire now, and I'm just going to repeat that process. So every time my resources go to 0, I'm just going to buy 10 bricks, 10 beams, and 50 swamp paste, and that will of course give me enough for another 4 to 5 inventories of sacred oils. So I'm just running back to the general store now. The best way to remember it is north is the altar, south is the bank. You don't even need to worry about going left or right. And Ramsar's store is just south of the altar. So I'm just going to buy more olive oils. You may see that he has only a limited stock. I do believe he stocks 500 a day, but that will probably take you not too long. I'm not too sure how long that will take you, but once you've done all of those, they do replenish, and you can always do them again tomorrow. But I think there's a good couple of hours worth there. So now I don't need to buy the beams and the building requirements because I've already got my resources. They don't go anywhere. So once, of course, I can start reinforcing the temple wall to gain my sanity back up again. Now my resources of course do stay there. I don't need more bricks and beams, as I just said. They'll stay there until they go to 0. And now I can just regain my sanity, use them on the altar, and repeat. So now I think I've excuse me, I think I've pretty much covered that method now. So I'm just going to double check that I've ran through everything. So killing shades gains you 2% sanity per kill, but it's not recommended because this is slow. Use 60% resources per 80 sanity. Actually, we can work out how much if we do. So you get 3.125 inventories per 10 of those resource stacks which you buy. So every 3 inventories you're going to need to be buying the beams, the swamp paste, and the bricks from Ramsire just to get your resources back up. Or you can just buy as many as possible. So what would it be if you got the Flatmere hammer? 13 bricks, 13 beams, and 65 swamp paste, and that would get you, what does it say here, that would get you obviously more than 50, that would get you 65, sorry, got a bit confused there. Okay, but so 2.7% sanity used is 1 pot, so 80% for a full inventory, so this needs to be 80% for the full inventory. Must have over 10% sanity to make a sacred oil, so well, pretty obvious that one. 1% resources is 5% sanity, and that's the formula for the resources. So I think that pretty much covers it, guys. So now I'm just going to run over selling the olive oils. Not the olive oils, the sacred oils. The sacred oils are used for shade burning and sort of fire burning. So this isn't, of course, a very popular activity, but people do it, and you do need to do it for the hard Morton tasks or the Mortania tasks. So what I recommend doing is I recommend putting in these sacred oils for -5% each, and I wouldn't expect them to sell instantly, but they will sell. They will sell eventually, I promise you that. I've made loads of these. I used to make money by doing this, and they do sell eventually. You do just need to be patient. So if you're looking for a method which is quick, instant money, you know, do the method, bang, straight in the GE. This isn't a good one. However, this method is really, really afkable when you think about it. Like right now, I could be, you know, drinking tea, doing whatever I wanted really while this happens, and then all I've got to do is make the sacred oils on the altar, run to the bank, run back, and then I've got another 3 to 4 minutes to do what the hell I want again. And that's why I like this method. So yeah, when you're selling the sacred oils, guys, you can decant them into 4 doses if you want, but I don't recommend doing this. I do recommend keeping them 3 doses and selling them straight into the GE, and then waiting maybe a couple of days. Put them in at -5%. Obviously that will make the price drop a bit if everyone does that, but if the price drops, maybe more people to buy them, so maybe that's a good thing. I think that pretty much covers this method, guys. So I'm just going to why not on video quickly do this inventory, and just to show you. So basically while I've been making this video, I've made 100k. Once this is done, of course, well, a bit more than 100k, it'll be about 115k, I do believe, taking away the small prices for the olive oils and the resources. And this video is, well, I've been recording here for 12 minutes, so 100k in 12 minutes. So if you times 12 by 5, then you are looking at about 550k plus an hour, guys, and that's just been proven by this short video here. So as always, guys, please comment with any questions. I know I'm not great at explaining things. This has all been off the top of my head, so a lot of going on. But anyway, guys, if it helped you, please give it a like, and please post any questions as well, because I'll answer them as soon as I see them. Thanks very much for watching, guys. Until my next method, see you later.